Welcome back to our program. This portion of the show is dedicated to scientific know-how. Over the past quarter century, we've seen the world shrink and link thanks to the marvels of modern electronics. From the introduction of satellite television with the promise of 10 times the number of TV channels, to the genesis of electronic mail and being able to instantly connect with people in other places, our reporters were there to keep you updated. We now present some of these stories in a segment called Technology in Retrospect.
Home Cable Network was in the border city selling its satellite system. The setup allows rural TV watchers a far greater choice of stations than they now have.
Okay, there's 20 complete channels on the system right now. We advertise 14 because we don't count the House of Commons, French and English, and we don't count some of the redundant CBC feeds. There's 2 other channels, CBC 24-hour News and Super Channel, which is 24-hour movies, that have been authorized by the CRTC for the system and will be on as soon as transponder space becomes available.
The 2 new channels are guaranteed for the fall of 1990, but Kendrick hopes they'll be ready even sooner. About 35 people took a look at the system, with 7 placing firm buy orders. Kendrick says when they come back to the area in a few months, there'll be even more orders to process, mainly due to positive word-of-mouth advertising from these new customers. The system is composed of a 6-foot satellite dish, a CANCOM decoder, and a manual or remote receiver. CANCOM has been licensed by the federal government to use the satellite space, and they in turn authorize Home Cable to market the system. The entire package costs a little over $2,500 installed, and financing is available that allows the customer to pay as little as $72 per month. And Kendrick says that's not a bad investment for the system, especially since it allows rural viewers to get 10 times the choice of stations they now have. David McGinnis, Broadcast Center News.
A computer class of grade 6 students at Bar Colony School in the border city has hooked into an electronic mail service with the help of teacher Brian Hemsworth.
It's sponsored through AT&T through the States. They have what's called a learning network, in which they set up learning circles involving anywhere from 6 to 9 schools. And we've chosen MindWorks, which is a creative writing association, and we have 7 schools in the States and 1 in British Columbia.
The students are able to apply their computer skills to a variety of projects, from writing letters and advertisements to short stories.
They asked us to do circle stories. We pass them around the room. Well, one class does half the story, and then the next they send it on to another class, and it does another half of the story, and then we all get a copy of it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like you learn things about like the other states and provinces that you didn't know.
So we hope that from doing that, the students can not only increase vocabulary, their writing skills, and get a good idea of what it's like to live in any of these other places. Each one of the schools is sending us a welcome package. We've sent one from Lloydminster to every one of them. That's the first one that we received a couple of days ago, and the girls just received one from Pennsylvania.
The class is now waiting for the final word on the types of projects the other schools are requesting, and by spring break they hope to start writing. Michael Higgins, NewsHour.
This is not what most people picture when they think of a telephone. The fact is, the phone has come a long way from its original conception in 1871. It's seen many faces, including the old rotary. To the more updated push-button phone. But it didn't stop there. 10 years ago, the cellular phone was introduced, becoming not only a method of telecommunicating, but also one of the trademarks of the yuppie movement.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk to you when I get home then. All right, thanks. Bye now.
And the evolution of the telephone is far from over. Today, Border City residents were introduced to an even more updated model, the satellite phone. It's based off of a satellite that's located 36,000 kilometers above the equator. It allows for transmission in remote areas.
The cellular networks or two-way radio networks are limited as to the areas that they cover. So I might travel, let's say, north of Lloydminster, but soon lose cellular networks. And this is where satellite communications would come in.
Communications experts here in the border city agree with this claim and say it will come in handy, especially in Lloydminster and area.
As a matter of fact, I think it fits more in the Lloydminster and north area than it does anywhere else, certainly in probably in Western Canada. The oil patch is going to be probably one of the prime users of this type of technology.
And they say don't expect this to be the end of the evolution of the telephone.
And this is just the beginning of it. I think in the next 5 years you'll see a transition in telephone and telecommunications that surpasses what we've seen in the last 100 years.
Tammy De Silva, NewsHour.
Enjoying a cup of coffee has taken on a whole new meaning. Cappuccino Voltaire and Java Adventures are two local cafes that are moving with the times.
A new trend is sweeping through the border city. Not only can you enjoy a cup of gourmet coffee, but you can search the internet while you're doing it.
It is a very popular thing that is, catching on. And because there's so many people going on the internet, it's just another way of doing a socializing and, having an entertainment and good time.
It's very popular. I think on Saturday we're taking bookings in advance and drop-ins as well, as long as the computer is available. And I think there was probably not more than 1/2 hour on Saturday that didn't have someone there.
Cappuccino Voltaire opened its doors almost a year ago. So far, their internet terminal has been successful. Over 300 patrons signed up to use the internet in January alone.
It meets a need for people who can't afford a $4,500 computer at home. They don't need to. We've recently started offering internet classes.
Java Adventures just opened last Friday. They have 2 terminals available to the public and 2 more are on their way.
So far it's been very positive. They really like the atmosphere. It's different. The younger kids, they really like it. We get a lot of the school kids at lunchtime, and it's been a very positive attitude towards it. It really has.
The trend appears to be catching. If the internet continues to be successful, you may find more than just coffee and sandwiches at your local coffee shops. Josephine Guzzo, NewsHour.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Hardy, inviting you to tune in again for another episode of a special retrospective.